Hey, hey, hey. Howdy, friends. How's everyone doing today? Today is a new day. The sun's shining. It's actually a beautiful day. And I actually got a job today that I got to go. Oh, got the music playing. I got to go back to. It's kind of a little bit of a weird story on it. It's a gate that we installed, and well, I'll probably just have to show you when I get there. It seemed like a good idea. Good idea kind of turned into a bad idea. Not 100% our fault, not 100% of the builder's fault. Really nobody's fault. Just something that got overlooked. Now, this is a common thing that can happen without having specs and sheets, which we basically almost never get. So, from this particular builder. And I'm not saying I like it, I'm not saying I dislike it, but I'm just saying this is what can happen without stuff being specified exactly how things are supposed to be and where they want them and the dimensions and whatnot. It was really just something that got overlooked. No big deal. But it is going to be a big deal for me. It's going to be a pretty big undertaking. It's going to require a lot more effort, which is, it's a bummer because it was done so nicely. It's actually where I recorded my DeWalt battery pack, which has been working pretty good. I should do an update review on that because there's some quirks about it. There's some things I like and there's some things I don't like that I've learned with it since I've been using it. So pretty interesting. But anywho, I'm gonna get driving over to the location here. All right, friends, you might remember this job. We did that big old fence job here, and so the problem is this was a great idea by actually one of my workers. He said, why don't we pad mount it? And I thought that is an ingenious idea. Why didn't I think of that? So the problem is that it's too close. It needs to be on the outside of here. As you can see over here, these guys are here working on landscaping today. Doing a good job. Anyways, the problem is we got to bump this out over here. Now, some of the problems you're going to find, and I'm so bummed because I did such a good job installing this. I got all these things lined up. I got the fence lined up, the gate lined up. I got these mechanisms all lined up and working just wonderful, but it's going to be too tight. Now you look at it right now and I go, well, what's the problem here, you know? But it is tight. But the problem is that they probably want to bump up to this. And if they bump up to that, instead of this brick wall, which they're going to eventually just knock this over, that's what eventually will happen. That's just not going to happen. They need more room. They need more room. And of course, another problem is with bringing this gate over on the edge there. It actually, my gates are going to be too small. So now I have to tear the gates apart. And I think what I'm going to do is just going to be easier because the vendors are all just screwed up. I'm just going to fabricate and make these bigger myself. So yeah, so this is going to be fun. So I'll keep you posted. So one of the first things I did is I actually just shut the gates right now and made sure all the interactions I was really happy with. The locking mechanism, you know, this. And then what I did, since I'm by myself, I just took a zip tie. Hey, okay. So friends, I wanted to jump in for a second. You know, I've been thinking, there's been a lot of things I've learned over my little course of life here. And what I want to explain in this is that preparation is key to a lot of things. I found out that if you spend more time in preparation than in just doing the final product, normally you'll win 9 times out of 10. So, for instance, with this gate, I want to make sure, what the point is that I want to make sure I take all my dimensions because this gate's working flawlessly. It's working perfect. The latch is coming down. Everything is just working like, mwah, just like that. So I want to take my dimensions now before I just take this thing and just tear it all apart. And then I'm going back to, I don't know what it was at. I don't know what went wrong because I have variables in there. So I want to take the variables out. I want to be able to go, Now, I know I measured it. It's the same distance. And why is this gate not functioning the same? What changed? But if you don't know where you were at, it's almost like you don't know where you're going. I don't know if that makes sense. But take time to measure. It's easy to jump in things and just tear things apart, and you get lost. You get sidetracked. So preparation. I can never stress enough, do preparation. Set up the tools, set up your hinges, set up whatever. Preparation. Try to get as much as you can prepared, so it just goes, everything goes nice and smooth. Anyways, back to the clip. Zip tied it right there so I could hook a tape measure to it, and I wanted the face of this pole to the face of that pole because I want it to be exactly the same. Well, I have to do some math calculations, don't get me wrong. So I gotta do some math calculations because once I bump this pole, which I gotta use a different pole, put it on the outside here, it's gonna change, and then obviously my gates are gonna have to grow and whatnot. So helpful little tip, you know, if you're trying to figure out, the bucket was for mid support. I tried that first, that didn't work out so good, but I got that hooked, and voila. So I'm in the midst of the jobs here, and just come in for a second to warm up my hands. And even though it's a beautiful day, the sun was out, now it's getting to be overcast, and it's still about 30 degrees out, so it's just enough to make your hands freeze, especially metal, you know, touching metal. Anyways, my brain was sitting here, taking stuff apart, and I was thinking to myself, I thought, you know, wow, you know, this is like the second dumpster fence that I can recall recently that I've done, and I thought I've had trouble with both. I remember the first one was it was my fault. I put the post in, but I core drilled it, you know, with the core machine. I drilled it, and I sunk the post in, and I mudded them in, and that's just not enough girth around it. So I'm not gonna do on this one. I'm gonna saw cut this one. I'm gonna make a square. I'm gonna put a lot of cement in there, and I'm actually going to tip them. You know how the gate, the gate, these are the poles, but the gate would be like this. You know, the poles are always gonna want to sag in, or this way when the gate's open or whatever. So I'm gonna make sure everything's tipped back just a touch, and this way. So every way it's pulling, it's always kind of helping itself. Now these poles that are here existing, they're kind of wobbly, and that guy that used to work with me, he told me to fill them with, and I haven't done it a lot, to verify it and say, wow, this makes a huge difference. But I'm sure it does. It's just common sense. It makes sense to me. But I'm going to fill the post up with concrete so they harden too. But boy, I hope they're right this time, because I feel sorry for the next guy that's got to tear them out, especially with cement in them and everything. They're going to be heavy. So please, Lord, please make sure that everything goes good this time. So this is an easy kind of fix, except for the part of cutting the gate, and I don't even want to deal with the vendor on it. It's just they're just crazy right now. It's going to take some amount of time, and then we were talking about making one gate a little bit bigger than the other, because now that I'm moving the post out, you know, the gate's not going to close close enough. So you know, it's just stuff. So no biggie, but just enjoy myself. One's gone, one still remains. Trailer works good for this. Nice big flat surface, strap her down, and away you go. Well, I figure just kind of kiboshing the video, this should be a great learning opportunity. So, I was kind of dragging my feet a little bit, and I text the customer, and I said, hey, the builder, I said, hey, you know, 4 inches off the face, and I didn't get a response. So I was kind of like, well, I'll let it go for a little bit, and then I'm going to make a phone call, because I've learned over the years that you need to do your due diligence, because ultimately you will pay. Neither good or bad, you will pay. Either your time, money, energy, thought process, lose sleep. You will pay some way or another. So I get a text. I think it says, and it says hold off. And I'm thinking, what? Wait a minute, hold off. Whoa. And I was just I was just so close to cutting these the studs off, the anchor bolts, and I thought, you know what? I'll just put the nuts on there so they're kind of safe. Somebody trips and hits them, doesn't stab their hands. I'm just gonna leave those for good luck. All these weird things you gotta think about. So anyways, he calls me and he says, he goes, they made it fit, which I just showed you. I just showed you, it does fit. He's thinking about going with smaller dumpsters. And I'm just like, so he says, hold off. He says, well, didn't I tell you that? And I said, no. I said, we didn't talk about that. One of those things that it could lead to not having a contract. It could lead to not having it in writing, not having an email specifying that we do want it moved and what, how many inches, you know, there's so many things that can go. I am just very happy and thankful that I didn't cut those off, and I get to bolt these back on, and I should be done. I should be done with it. It should be over. We hope. We hope. The worst part about it is that I spent half my weekend, not half my weekend. Let's say it was Sunday. It was Sunday. I spent half the day getting 4-inch pipe, getting the concrete in here, getting water buckets ready, getting the wheelbarrow, getting the trowels and the postal diggers, getting the saw to cut in the asphalt. That's pretty much going to be pretty much at a waste, at a loss. That's the bummer part. So, you think it's so easy. You think it's so easy being a garage door or fence guy. You make so much money. You lose a lot of sleep, too. And you get a lot of this, a lot of gray hairs. Not saying it can't be beneficial. Not saying there can't be money into it. But there's so many things that you got to keep advancing yourself on and growing. And then now, when you throw in this whole, the cough stuff, people's minds are everywhere. I'm seeing people drive more violently. I'm seeing people text. I'm seeing no license plates where I live. People are just in a different frame of mind. Like I've said before, even myself, I can get kind of fogged, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I gotta put this phone down because I need to really drive because my brain's all over. And like, what did they say? What did the new governor say? Or not new governor, but what did the governor say? What's going on over in California? Oh my gosh, you know. And sometimes you just gotta put that stuff away. You really do. It's bad. It's bad, bad, bad. So anyways, I am going back out there to install my gates that I uninstalled. Oh well. But I want to show you some things that we can learn from this. Obviously, like I said, I was dragging my feet, taking the studs out. They're still there for me. Thank you, Lord. And but anyways, I was freaking out because I didn't bring my jack. I got one of those, like a Jeep jack or whatever, those heavy duty jacks that help lift up this. And I don't think this van has a jack in it. If it is, I don't know where it's located. I haven't dug through it enough yet. So I was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do by myself? But I want to tell you, you can get through anything pretty much if you put your mind to it and you look at your resources around you. So look at this dumpster's here, right? This dumpster's here. I hooked onto the backside. You probably can't see that. Oh, I gotta turn the camera. I don't know how that works, but see, I hooked back there and I strapped it right here. And that gave me leverage for putting my bolts in up here. Now I didn't have to mess with the ones down there. I just left those because that just boop, pops out, slides out. It just hangs out down there. It's always kind of weird to me to think about with gates and that, how they always just run. They wear right on this point right here. It's always just kind of a weird scenario to me. But anyways, look at your surroundings, friends. Look at your surroundings. Always use your surroundings. Don't get defeated. There's always a solution. It's just there. It's just you got to find it. All right. Just like it never happened. Time to go. I'll leave it open just like they had it too. I didn't get to put a second hole in it because this isn't the final layer of asphalt, so I never put a hole out here for them. But yeah, couldn't ask for a much better job besides maybe having a food truck here. Got a porta-john right here on the job, and job's nice and close. You park nice and close. Guess not too bad for a Monday. Start off with some craziness, like a typical Monday, like always. It always is kitty wampus. So anyways, thanks for coming along for that little journey. I hope you learned something. I hope you don't make mistakes like me, because I know I'm the only one out there that does it. So anyways, thanks for coming along, friends. Talk to you on the next one. Hope you're doing well. See ya. Like, subscribe, share, comment below if you deal with this craziness. I love reading the comments. I lay in bed and read the comments all the time. It's kind of fun. So anyway, see ya. Okay, you know how this is. If you don't make a video now, you'll never make a video later because you have somebody coming. I don't know what that was. I got one of those messages from Facebook that popped up, and I don't know what that meant. But anyways, we got the John Deere that's going bye-bye, and I want to take a video with it because I'm actually really, at the moment, I have weird feelings about this. I feel like I shouldn't do it. It's going to cost a lot more money to replace this. Probably going to have to get 2 pieces of equipment to replace this one. So let's take a look. So here it is. My John Deere 440. I believe it's a 50 something. It's a 58, 59, 60, somewhere in there. I'm not sure the exact year. I could never figure it out 100%. Put some new rubber on it. New rims on this one. I actually got the old rims up here. Boy, I really feel saddened about this. This tractor has been a big help for this big old chunk of property. I apologize about the wind. It is a little windy out here. The old original bucket that was on there was a little bit too big for me. I just always felt like I was doing more work than I needed to, so I ended up getting that small bucket made. You know, I don't remember. I think it was around $600 or so. Might have been 800 just to get that made. Tires, oh boy, my back still hurts from the tires. Oh, putting those tires on, new lugs. It's been a good girl. I was kind of bummed I didn't get the exhaust on it. I got a new one for it. Put the radiator in it. It's just, you know, it needs work. It's just, I just ain't got time for her. I'm gonna miss her. I am gonna miss it. It's been a good tractor for the most part. It's pretty simple to work on for the most part. Got it on trade. I remember I had traded an enclosed trailer that was probably not as worth the value of this, but I ended up making a friendship out of it with Mr. Darrell, and I'm happy that he had it. We did a trade, and I'm glad that it really helped me out a lot around this property. But it's time to upgrade. It's just got too many things going on with it, you know, with the leaky cylinders, hoses. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on with this thing, and it works. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does the job, but I just ain't got time to keep fixing all this stuff. It's just a lot of work, a ton of work. Not a bad day out. So we're saying goodbye to her. I don't know what kind of money. I probably got $1,000 just invested in the tires since last year Cora had a blowout on it, and yeah, that was fun. She was a little scared. Still got some fenders, got rounded up the hood. Got a manual in that Danny's going to be bringing out here shortly on the golf cart. So, goodbye. Goodbye, old tractor. I hope you find good life somewhere else. I'm going to miss you. I am going to miss this tractor. I know it. I can feel it. It's like getting rid of my old truck. I am going to miss it. It's been a good tractor. I just can't say enough about it. You know, you figure this is about $4,000 worth of tractor here, and then I'm probably going to have to go out and spend like $40,000 or $50,000 or $60,000, who knows, to replace this thing. And I don't get the backhoe. If I go with the skidster, I'm not getting the backhoe part of it. So I almost really need a mini excavator, and I need a skidster, bobcat, whatever you want to call it, just to replace this thing. It's a lot of money, but like I said, what am I going to do? You know, the belt was getting bad on it. I found out how to tighten it up, but I just ain't got time to tear it apart. It just makes the mess. The mechanicalism of it, I just ain't got time. I need stuff that just works and goes. So anywho, I'm gonna leave you at that. I love y'all. Hope you take care. Chickens are out. See the chickens behind me? There's vanilla ice, I think. Kind of cool. See the chickens are just hanging out in the woods here. Crazy birds. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. There's my beautiful wife. There she is, just standing there. I'm gonna go say hi to her.